Two right-angled triangles are similar. The larger triangle has short sides which are 1 centimeter and 5 centimeters longer than the short sides of the smaller triangle. So let's say that the smaller triangle has sides x and y, and the larger triangle will have x plus 1 and y plus 5. Furthermore, the area of the larger triangle is 8 centimeters squared more than the area of the small triangle. So that means that a half times y plus 5 times x plus 1 is going to equal a half times xy. And then because it's 8 more on the left, we need to add 8 to the right-hand side. We can times through by 2 straight away. And we're going to find a relationship between x and y using this. Okay, so yx or xy plus y plus 5x plus 5 equals xy plus 16. These cancel. And I'm left with, it's going to be 5x plus y is equal to 16. Put a box around that one. Two right-angled triangles are similar. The larger triangle has short sides which are 1 centimeter and 5 centimeter longer than the short sides of the smaller triangle. So let me say the short sides of the smaller triangle are x and y. Then without loss of generality, I can say that the larger triangle is x plus 1 and y plus 5. If I swap them round, I'll just get, the reverse answer. So it doesn't, that's what I mean by without loss of generality. Just going to draw a little sketch of this. So let's say that x is at the bottom, y is up here. This is the smaller triangle. And that's why you just got to be a little bit careful because we don't actually, I can orientate it like that. And I can then orientate my triangle as x plus 1, y plus 5. But the question deliberately doesn't say which side matches with which. So it might be that x plus x matches with x plus 1 and y matches with y plus 5, but we've got an alternative. Because you could have y plus 5 down here and x plus 1 up here, and then actually x matches to y plus 5 and y matches to x plus 1. So there's going to be two cases to consider. Before we get onto that, let's just use this to think about the area. So the area of the larger triangle, okay, so that is going to be a half times x plus 1 times y plus 5 is 8 more than the area of the smaller triangle. So half xy, and then we're going to need to add 8 on. Times through by 2 straight away, I think. And multiply this out, so xy plus 5x plus y plus 5 is equal to xy plus 16. Cancel out the xy's. That leaves me 5x plus y is equal to 11. Okay, so I've got a relationship between x and y. Now let's think about the similarity. So in the first case, the scale factor would be the large length divided by the small length. So in this first case, x over 1 plus x, and that is going to equal y plus 5 over y, because that's another way to get the scale factor. Again, we've related x and y together. Cross multiplying and expanding gives xy plus y equals xy plus 5x. These cancel, y is equal to 5x. I can just sub that into here, which gives me 5x plus 5x equals 11. So 10x equals 11, x equals 1.1. Remember, y is 5 times x, so y is equal to 5.5. That is one possible answer. Now let's look at the other situation I was talking about. So y plus 5 over x could equal x plus 1 over y. Okay, cross multiply here, we get a quadratic, so y squared plus 5y equals x squared plus x. Let's substitute in, and I think it makes sense to make y the subject here, so y is equal to 11 minus 5x. Therefore, 11 minus 5x squared plus 5 times 11 minus 5x is equal to x squared plus x. Brilliant. Quadratic in x. Multiply this out. 25x squared minus 55x minus 55x plus 121 is 55 minus 25x equals x squared plus x. Therefore, 24x squared by minusing an x squared from both sides. I'm going to get minus 135x, but then I'm going to minus another one, so minus 136x. I think that's okay. And then 121 plus 155 gives 176, and that is going to equal 0. Right, before we try and solve this quadratic, let's divide by any common factors. So you can try and divide through by the highest common factor, figure that out. Actually, you can just divide through by any common factor to start with, and 2 is a good shout, I think, to start with. So 12 squared, it's just quite easy to divide by 2. This is going to be 68 plus 80. Sorry, one sec. 2's into 17 go 8, remainder 1. It's 88, sorry. Say quite easy, and then I nearly made a mistake. Okay, this is even again. So 6x squared minus 34x plus 44 is equal to 0. This is even again. So actually 8, I think, was the highest common factor. Okay, so you could go straight from here to here if you spot that. Right, we've got this quadratic. Let's see if it factorizes. So if it factorizes, it's got to be 3x and x. And then we need two numbers that multiply to give 22. And we need to get 17 here. So if I put 11 here, it's going to be way too big. And 22 there will be way too big. So what about 11 here and 2 here? Make them both negative. Then I'll get minus 6x minus 11x, and that does check out. So x is going to equal 11 over 3 or 2. Just need to work out what y is equal to then. So remember, we've got a different, we can't use the y equals 5x from before. So y is 11 minus 5x. When we've got 2, it's just going to equal 1. And when we've got 11 over 3, it's going to be 11 minus 5 times 11 over 3, which is 11 minus 55 over 3. This is definitely going to end up being less than 0. I'm not even going to calculate it because 33 over 3 would be 11. So actually, I'm going to reject this one because we can't have a negative length. And therefore, with our second solution, actually, although it was a more complicated process, we've got a nice whole number of answers. X equals 2 and y equals 1. So that is our pair of solutions. Very easy to miss that solution, it's got to be said. Well done.